In this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of the kitchen cabinets. This video will not include food that is in the cabinets. It will include baking supplies, cooking supplies, dishes, things like that, tins, things that we use to serve Christmas in, holidays, but I do plan on making a video of the food as well, but I wanted to do this one first. So the first thing, we're gonna start above the refrigerator in this cabinet, and I'm gonna just work my way around the kitchen and I'll show you what's in there, and if there's anything that I want to get rid of that I don't want to keep, I will leave it to the side as we go along. But this is really, it's not really a purging video, because I'm thinking I keep things pared pretty well, although, you know, with Ashley living here, Ashley buys her own things that you know, cups and things like that, and so there's probably more cups up there than I'm aware of. We'll see when we get to that point, but what I plan to do is I'm going to start up here, and then I'm going to work my way down, and there's a cabinet under this bench, and then we'll work our way to the other side of the kitchen, and I'll just show you where I keep our supplies. I have you propped up in a chair, so hopefully the dog doesn't knock into the chair. He's walking around. This is a cabinet that it has a lot of space in it, but we don't get in here very often. We keep things in here that we just don't need a lot. I love to keep tins, because at Christmas I like to give gifts in tins, and if I'm gonna give someone a gift in a tin, I will give it to them in a tin that I don't care about. So I have other tins that I keep that I'll keep here at home. Like if Kevin and I make Chex Mix, or if we make peanut butter fudge, I will probably put it in this tin or this tin, because I'm not going to give those away. Those are mine. I'm not going to let anyone have those. I would be more likely to pick out one like this that I don't care anything about. It has no meaning to me. So, as a matter of fact, I've made stuff and given it to my dad in this, and he gave it back to me. So, and that could be taken one of two ways. Either he's saying, I don't want the tin, thank you very much, I don't want it. Or he could be saying, hey, next time you make something, think of me. So, mainly that is what, I don't know why I kept this, because I mean, I guess you could make that into a bank if you wanted to. But I have lots of tins up here. My parents used to have a tin collection. You would have been shocked at their tin collection. So this is another one of those big ones. I'll try to show you these. Let's see, I'll start over here. So we have this from Christie Cookies. We have this one. This is from Carolina Cookie Company. This is a Scrabble tin that we've had for years. And then I have Moon Pie. And then I have some, these are Farrah's Old English Toffee assortment, Harrogate Toffee. Let's see, hopefully those will stay up there. And then I have another Christmas tin. I have one, I love this one. This one has Candyland on it. I love the game Candyland, love to play it with the kids. Showed you that one, let's see. That's gonna fall. This one has Clue on it, the game of Clue, and I love it too. This one's probably my favorite. Those are my three game tins. Clue's probably my favorite, and then Candyland, and then Scrabble. And I actually have another Clue one. We bought those, I'm thinking in like Gatlinburg, Tennessee, years and years and years ago at a toy store of all places. And they, they only had what you see here, and they had 2 Clue boxes. So I made sure that I bought both of those because I do like to make, Kevin and I do like to make Chex Mix, and those are the perfect size for us to keep Chex Mix in. And I know I'm being rude, I keep turning around, but I have to put these up so I can show you the other side. This, a friend of mine, this would mean nothing to anyone else. It is a basic $3.99. It's Santa's Workbench Cookie Tin. It would mean nothing to anyone else. But a friend of mine, it was hers, and she was murdered, and she gave me this tin, and so I've kept it because she gave it to me. And she gave me some cinnamon roasted pecans. That's where I got my recipe, is from her. And so I keep this tin because of her. And I have used it. Anytime I make cinnamon roasted pecans, I'll pull this out and use it again. This is a C's candy tin. Let's see, what else do we have? This is a Lindt milk chocolate. These were milk chocolate flakes from Lindt. This is a Grennan old-fashioned fruit cake. There's no telling where I got that. Some of these I might have picked up at like a shop, a vintage shop somewhere. This is the Christie cookie. Another Christie cookie can. And then let's see, I have Maxim's de Paris. I have another Maxim's. I remember we bought those at Home Goods. I have a Christmas tin, and this one's kind of cool because it opens from the side like this. I used to keep, when Ashley, we bought her some magnets. They were Barbie magnets, and you get the Barbie and you get the clothes, and you can decorate them on the refrigerator. At least that's where we did it, on the refrigerator. And so I would keep them in here because they're the perfect size for a Barbie. You can fit a Barbie in there, and you can fit her outfits in there. So that's just, they're good for that too. And then this is Historic Monroe. The town, oh, this is the Swiss Colony. This is that other Clue tin. And then I have some Quality Streets. I have a plastic Quality Street, and it's a good, really good size. You can put crayons in there or anything. And then I have a tin, and it looks like this, and then one that looks like this. So this one says Nestle on it, chocolates and toffees, and this says the original. So I don't know which one's newer or what. This one's bigger. The one that says Nestle was 900 grams. This one's only 725. So I don't know what the difference is as far as when those were released. But I wanted to keep those. This, I love this. It reminds me of my grandmother Scott. It feels like there's something else. No, there's not. It's just a little heavier. My grandmother Scott had one like this. Heck, this could have been hers, and I just don't remember. And then one more on this shelf. This is the Saturday Evening Post, Merle Norman, and I don't know what was in here. The Curtis Dasher Ltd, Long Island City, made in England. I don't know what was even in here. So there's no telling. So let me put these up. And then this one is special. That's why I've got it up here. This is the Oreo music box. And this is something that we've shown Gavin and Amelia. We've shared with them. And we'll pull it out again when Christmas comes this year. But it actually, you put an Oreo cookie on the music box. We did it during a vlog. And it played music. It was really cool. Very cool. So now that I've moved things around a little bit, I can actually fit that down there. And put some of these up. Okay, so there we go. Keep this, and you can see it's very dusty up here. It's okay. I'm not cleaning today. This is literally to show you what we have. This came from Edward's Pies. No slice left behind. And so that's something we keep up because we don't use them all the time. And there's another one up here as well. These were cups, coffee cups that went to my mom's collection, made in England. And they are chipped. They were very well loved and used. And then these are the plates that go with the cups. And they have a beautiful picture on them. They are made in England. They're coaching scenes made by the Johnson brothers, Ironstone Hunting Country. And so this is what they look like. They're very, very pretty plates. But they got used quite a bit too. And then I have some random plates up here. This is just a white plate. This is Royal Stafford. And it's a different company than the other one. Some things I don't think I'm going to be able to reach. And then I have these that I don't use that often. I have used them, but I don't use them very often. Usually I'm measuring sugar or something and put it in there. And then here's another pie plate from Edwards. So I had two different ones. I have the gold, and then I have this one is a metal. And then I have an old crock pot that we don't ever use. And I have a kitchen scale. When Kevin was doing our program for the insurance company, it was called Real Appeal, and they sent him this kitchen scale, and we haven't used it. And he's like, well, if anything ever happens to our other one, we could always use this one because it's a nice kitchen scale. So that is everything in this cabinet. We're going to move on. This cabinet up here, we're not going to get into at all. This is food. This is where we keep food that people have sent us or that we're going to review. So that was where we just were. This is food. And so then we move down here, and this is where we keep our oven mitts. And this is something for the Keurig. And then these are the scrubbing pads that I used for the sink. And these are hand towels. Then down here, these are bags to take, like lunch bags. That's what they're called, lunch bags. And then we have some straws that we've had these for a long time. We don't use a lot of straws, so Ashley bought those. We keep them in there because we don't use them a lot. We have our KitchenAid mixer, and then back in the back, we have our food processor, and then these are the attachments for the food processor. This is a glass container to keep straws in, because I used to, in our old house, I used to keep them out on the cabinet. And so they would stay in the glass and stay clean. And then that is a can opener. Then under here, Under here is where I keep a lot of holiday stuff. Now, I will tell you right now, anytime I get things out of here, I have to wash it. Because of where this cabinet is, it gets dusty, it gets hair, it just gets lots of stuff on it. So, like I said, anytime something comes out, it gets washed before I can ever use it. Trust me, you would not want to use any of this straight out of the cabinet. But I have my my turkey platter that we use at Thanksgiving and Christmas. I have baking dishes there. I have all of my Portobello by Design mugs, my Valentine's and Halloween and Christmas. This is one of the few Rae Dunn things that I have because it actually has a picture on it, because I don't know if you all know, I'm not into Rae Dunn at all, but this one's okay. We have an ice bucket here, and then I have my back in the back, you cannot see, and I know, I'm sorry. Back in the back, I have some cake stands back there. This is the cabinet above the sink. So at the very top, I use everything in this cabinet. If we're serving, these are serving dishes, like if I'm serving green beans or corn or mashed potatoes or anything like that, I use these bowls. Some are more decorative than others. Some I use for baking, although these not so much anymore. These are from Kohl's. They're Sonoma. They're very, very heavy. Since I have found the Mason Cash bowls, I like those so much better because they're lighter. It is amazing how much lighter these are than those. Even though I know they look the same, they look like they would be made of the same thickness, they're not at all. So these are dessert plates, and then these are little, they're appetizer sets. But I found them at Kroger. I know you can find them probably at the Dollar Tree or anywhere. But you get spoons and forks and little, just little plates and stuff. And I use those a lot too when we're baking, and I will have to measure out a teaspoon of salt, and I'll put it on there. These are our trays, and then I have some plastic bowls that we've had forever. And then these are my nice plates that I like to have when we're having a special holiday dinner or any kind of special dinner. And those are my Pyrex bowls. And I have the big red lid for the big bowl in here, and then my other lids are in a different location just because they'll fall all over the place in here. I use these all the time when Kevin and I are baking something. Then these are my Fiesta ware bowls and Pyrex bowls, current Pyrex bowls that we use for storage. And then these are the plates. These are my Fiesta ware plates. And I'm weird, so I switch these around with the season. When it gets to be the fall and the winter, I'll put the dark plates on the top. When it gets to be the spring and the summer, I will put the light plates on top. And that's just me. And that way they all get used. And the bowls get used. The bowls get moved around pretty frequently anyway. But we don't ever use most of those plates unless I move them around. So that's why I move them around. So this is the cabinet, the next cabinet over. This is the one where we keep a lot of our cups and some plastic plates, some plastic containers, but also I keep the Pyrex bowls here. Since I started collecting so much Pyrex ware, or Pyrex bowls, I keep them in here after the season's over. So you can see I've got Christmas and Halloween, and I'm sure there's Easter and Valentine's Day up there. And then the next shelf, we keep some plastic bowls, and I can still reach these, just barely, but I can still reach these if I need to get them down to put soup or something like that in them to store. And then we have this one. This is way too many cups to me. Of course, I've got one for each child. I've got one for Gavin and Amelia. And then we've been sent some. Ashley uses some. I'm not going to get into them. I'm not going to sort them today. I'm just going to show them to you. And then the bottom cabinet are the coffee cups that we are currently using, and those get changed out if I have any special ones for a holiday, like the ones I showed you under the bench, the Portobello by Design. Like this is a Portobello by Design, but I'm just keeping this out, you know, for all summer. But if I have special ones for Halloween and Christmas, I'll get those out and actually use those throughout the whole season. The next several cabinets are food. So these were the plates, those were the cups, this is food, and that is actually spices. So the next thing I'm going to show you is this right above this cabinet above the stove. This is the cabinet directly above the stove. And so at the top we keep glass lids because this is the best place to keep them. We don't always use the glass lids while we're cooking. We do quite often actually, but not every time. So we keep them up here. And then this is a bowl that I used to bake beans in, which, I mean, you could use it for anything, but I've always used it for baked beans. I love it. This is an extra KitchenAid mixing bowl, which we love to have. That way you can have one on the mixer and one in the refrigerator or whatever. These pans we love. These are Fat Daddy-O's. And we ordered them specially off of Amazon because they have the bottoms that come out of them like they do in the United Kingdom. Those are hard to find over here, so at least where we shop. So we ordered them off of Amazon. I've noticed recently that Home Goods has started selling the Fat Daddy-O's brand. I don't know if the insides come out like this, but they do have them. And so this is what they look like on the bottom, and it's a 9x3. And then up here I keep pans, my throwaway pans, like when we're making baked macaroni and cheese for dinners. I use these pans. I like them because you can either throw the stuff away really easily without any mess, or you can send it home with somebody. And usually that's what I end up doing because they come with these lids, and these are a perfect brownie size pans. So anytime Ashley needed to take brownies to school or something like that, she would always take them in one of those pans. But I need to get some more of the bigger size. So we already looked, we're going underneath now. I kind of went out of order once we got over here because I knew this was going to be food, this was going to be food, and this wasn't. So I went ahead and showed you that cabinet. So now we're going back to the bottom. This is under the sink. There's no telling what we're going to see under here. Okay. We have reusable bags on the right, and then inside this bag are a bunch of small plastic bags which we use to line our garbage cans in the bathrooms. These are the garbage bags we use. My Clorox wipes. I have some Bath & Body Works hand soap. This is where we keep the oil, the cooking oil, and we keep it on this Fiestaware plate because the bottom of it gets greasy. And, you know, if it runs down the side and you don't catch it, and Guido probably smells it. So we keep it under the sink on this plate. In the back, there's some alcohol back there that Ashley bought a long time ago and didn't use. So we've just stored it back there because we don't have room to store it in our freezer. So it's just back there. And then our all of our cleaning stuff is right here. And then this drawer has various kitchen gadgets in it. And then directly under there, this is our electric skillet. And then over here we have our big roasting pans to make turkey or Chex Mix or anything like that. Inside there is also a cast iron skillet for cornbread. Up here we have all of our baking sheets. I have a Bakewell tart pan. I have some different casserole dishes. Up here I have, we have just our basic cutlery, utensils. And then in here there are more, there's some boxes where I keep my box tops, more gadgety stuff in here, measuring things. In here I keep the cutting boards and some bigger tongs and things like that, spatulas that won't fit, a rolling pin, things that won't fit in those other 2 drawers. And then down here in the bottom, we keep, this is absolutely massive. Ashley bought this and she loves it, but it's huge. I said it's gonna have to live in the bottom drawer because that's the only, we don't have room for it anywhere else. So we keep our electric mixer, and which I hate. It has 1 speed. It's very dusty in this drawer, by the way, too. And our plastic bags. And then this is food. It is actually junk food. It's like candy and things like that in there. So when I go through the cabinets with the food, I'll show you what's in there. And then in here, these are the pots and pans. And I do have a couple of mason cash bowls here that won't fit in my other cabinet. I would, one of these days I want to have a place like a sideboard in the dining room, someplace to sit those to display them, or maybe display them a different way, because I think they're beautiful. But I have all of our pots and pans in here, and then down here I have like cookie stuff, like sprinkles and cookie press and things like that are down there in the corner. So that is the end of the video. That is what we have in the kitchen cabinets. Now that I did not show you, we have a set of cabinets in our utility room as well, which is right behind you. And across from our washer and dryer, we have a top set of cabinets and a bottom set of cabinets, and those have kitchen items in them too. And so maybe if you all are interested, one day I will show you around the utility room, because then even above the washer and dryer, there are 2 large shelves above the washing machine, the washer and dryer, and they have like things on there too that we would use like at holidays, like 3-tiered plates, and there's a toaster oven and an air fryer and stuff that we use, that we like, but we don't use it all the time. So maybe if you all are interested in that sometime, you can let me know and I'll film that for you. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.